Welcome to Tuesday. Yes, you are so on time this time. Welcome to Tuesday. This show is brought to you by me because I don't have any sponsors. And this content is currently ad-free because we have not met the minimum requirements to get monetization. And I cannot turn on super chats because many of you have been asking about that because I don't think I meet the minimum requirements to turn on the super chats. But even if we could turn on the super chats, I probably wouldn't, guys. I don't really need the moolah right now. As I mentioned on a previous stream, thank you so much. If you want to send me gifts, if you want to send me money, none of which I need right now. So if you have the giving heart, I recommend you pass it forward, pay it forward to other folks who might need it. I was actually just on Instagram tonight. LOL, I'm on Instagram every single second of my life. And Puppy Kitty NYC, Puppy Kitty NY City on Instagram is currently fundraising. They found a cat who is paralyzed from the waist down. They need a lot of funds to do some checkups and MRI scans. So if you feel like donating a few bucks to potentially help a kitty, feel free to throw them some funds. Otherwise, let's make some trash pizza. If you tuned in to Delicious Live on Friday, we made some youtiao, and then if you tuned into my live on Monday, we made some noodles out of that youtiao dough, and we still have a lot of dough. And I think Aaron's getting tired of eating noodles, and I don't really want to fry anything, so I thought, hey, why not just like try to bake this dough that's not really properly leavened? It has baking powder, it has baking soda. I put in some sourdough starter in there that is gluten-free, and it had poppy seeds in it, so that interferes with the gluten development a little bit. So we're gonna try to make a pan pizza out of this. I don't know how it's gonna work, but you came to Trashy Tuesday, so welcome to Trashy Tuesday. Thank you for waiting until you got your homework done. I'm so proud of you. Thank you. And hello, Prince Edward Island. Yes, 2 days in a row, I know. I'm really lonely, I guess. Always happy to see you guys. Always happy to see some night owls, outrageous international hours popping in. And hello from Toronto. Yes, support your local mutual aid groups, absolutely. What are some of your favorite pizza toppings? I actually am a big fan of just plain cheese, tomato sauce, maybe some herbs. I like a little mushroom here and there, but for the most part, whatever. If it's good pizza, it's good pizza. The most important part of the pizza for me is actually the bread. I think that is where the soul of the pizza is, and a good sauce will really liven up that soul and give it body, and really nice cooked cheese will give it some makeup and richness and curvaceousness, and toppings are just like accessories, you know? They're good, they can be mind-blowing, but most of the time it's in the bread for me. I am a bread freak. So let me show you what I found in my fridge because it is Trashy Tuesday. I do have a lot of like canned tomato products I could put in here, but because they're canned, they're pretty shelf stable and I don't feel like using them today. And if I pop a can open, I'm gonna generate more trash ingredients in the fridge that I then have to use. So we're not gonna do that. What we do have is, Aaron has like a few slices of double smoked bacon left over. We got this from Parrot Coffee and Grocery in Sunnyside, Queens. We're gonna try to sizzle off some of those. In the pan, we're gonna go in with a little bit of garlic that I have already peeled because I've discovered that peeling whole cloves of garlic is kind of meditative and therapeutic for me. So I've started doing that on weekends. Just for like half an hour, I'll go peel 2 heads of garlic. Don't ask. We have this pint of grape tomatoes that are for the most part okay, but some of them are getting like really wrinkly and sad and dehydrated, which still good, or just we should use them soon. I got 2 of these for $1. I was actually gonna use them in a Budget Eats episode, but Fun fact, I actually don't buy the exact dollar amount of ingredients for Budget Eat sometimes. I'll buy like a few bucks over and then I'll come home and I'll finagle the prices so that I only use the ingredients that fit within that budget so that I have a little bit of leeway, you know. Otherwise, I'm just gonna be sitting in the aisles during a pandemic, stressing myself out about how much money I've spent, and I just can't do that kind of mental math on the spot. So to alleviate some of that stress, I'll cheat and go over the budget, come home, and then calculate the budget of what ingredients will fit in there. So now you know. I also found these scallions that I bought from the farmer's market. They're on their way out, and I also have a lot of scallions that I like repotted and they're growing, so we're gonna try to use these up and we're gonna try to save the stems and we can repot these stems. In addition, I have half of an onion here. We can just sliver some, put some on top, let them get nice and roasty. We have this block of cheese that I thought sounded really good, that smelled really pungent, but it actually just kind of tastes like melted crayons to me. Very disappointed in this cheese. Got it in Astoria at Green Bay Organics. Guys, I don't know where this cheese is from. I don't like it. I'm not gonna buy it again. It's totally on me. And who am I to blame? It was only $6.99 a pound. Of course it's gonna suck. Gosh. We have some homemade fresh chili oil left over, and because Erin is gonna be the person who is eating most of this pizza because gluten actually triggers my skin condition, I won't be having a lot of it. And we also have some homemade pickled jalapenos that we might throw on top. Who knows? Who knows? Anything goes. So first thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna grab my cast iron. I'm gonna set it over a medium heat, and then what I'll do is we'll render some of the fat off of the bacon a little bit, and we'll take the bacon out, reserve it for topping, and then we'll use this pan that's covered in bacon oil for our pizza. I'm so sorry, I'm currently ignoring your chats, but I will be paying attention to you soon because the dough, once we get the dough going, it'll need some time to rise and relax in the pan before we preheat our oven to a sizzling 500 degrees Fahrenheit, which is actually ridiculous that I'm making this recipe today because it's been 60 degrees Fahrenheit outside today in New York City, and I have no idea why I'm turning on the oven on such a hot day. But bad decisions, trashy decisions on a trashy Tuesday. All right, let's look. Those are some wise tomatoes, absolutely. This is one of the 3 things we look forward to get through our work day. Thanks for welcoming us into your kitchen. Thank you guys for coming in. I mean, honestly, I would have been doing this stuff anyway for myself, and I figured for the people who just feel like putting something on in the background and feeling like, you know, you have a friend or a social life outside of the apartment that you've been trapped in for the past year, why not? The power of the internet. Let us harness it for some ridiculous cooking nonsense, right? When making dough, what's the ratio of hot water to room temperature water? How do you know how much to put in? It really depends on your dough. It depends on what purpose you're making it for. Not every dough is going to be for, you know, pizza, and so if you're making noodles, that's going to be a different dough. I think you just got to experiment with it and see what different temperatures do. Hot water will kind of bloat your gluten and kind of freeze it in place, and it'll tenderize your dough, but it won't help with the elasticity. So if you use more hot water in your dough, that means that your dough will be nice and soft and like very tender when you sink your teeth into it, but it's not going to be as stretchy or pulley. So most of the time when you're making sourdough bread, you don't want to use hot water because you want that gluten to develop. You want that loaf to be sturdy enough that you can get nice aeration from the sourdough starter, and that when you go to bake it, that gluten structure holds, and when the water evaporates, your bread balloons, and that's what you call an oven spring when your bread gets like nice and puffy. And then you get those nice little air bubbles that make you look like you're an artisanal baker, and you can sell your loaf for like $12 at the farmer's market. That. our bacon is in here, I'm just going to pop in some garlic. Why not? I like to keep my garlic relatively whole. If you chop up your garlic, great. Just keep an eye on it. It might burn, but Aaron really likes garlic. We're just gonna do this. And I think I'm gonna go in with some scallions so that they can get a chance to like wilt a little bit. Just gonna slice them, I don't know, inch long pieces, throw them in. I don't really care. They're just there for flavor. And also, because we will be throwing these into a 500-degree oven, I don't want them to burn, so I don't want tiny pieces of very tender, moisture-laden stuff because those will just die right away in that heat. So keep things large enough that you don't have to worry about them burning. Okay, we'll plant those later. Bacon is rendering. What else? You're making pierogies? Awesome. I mean, I don't think you need that many prayers, but I'll give you a prayer. Will this one sing for us? Let's see if this one will sing. All right, we're all going to send a bread prayer to Alex G. May your pierogies be perfect. Or, you know, fuck perfect. Just may your pierogies be delicious, whatever that means to you. What does perfect mean anyway? Hate it. Aaron's dad actually just texted me the other day, like 2 days ago, and he was like, I think all food media should stop using the word perfect in their descriptions. And I kind of agree. It's overused. You're absolutely right, Jeff. We gotta stop selling this image of like, this is the thing that will save you from the miseries in your life. Nothing will save you from the miseries in your life. Your life will be kind of miserable always, but just manage your expectations and it'll all be okay. And, you know, one day we'll die, and that's that. No big. We're gonna pop in some pepper. I'm almost at the end of this McCormick pepper that I found in the test kitchen. It expired in 2020, I believe, but I think it's been in the test kitchen for like years. I'm almost at a 3-year mark at Delish, and I think that one predated at least 2 years before I ever joined the team. So, as you can see, our scallions are getting nice and blistery. That's what I like to see. We're gonna go a little bit more until the bacon is like half rendered and until the garlic cloves get a little bit more softened. They're starting to develop some color. Smells really good right now. Aaron and I don't eat a lot of meat, but every once in a while we'll just go to a small shop and just like treat ourselves with a little bit of meat. And we basically use meat as seasoning in our cooking, which I think is honestly the best way to go about it. If ever we live in an ideal world, I would make everyone who wants to eat meat kill their own animals, because I honestly think that that would cut our meat consumption drastically. Even just like killing a bug changed me. So I can't even imagine killing my own chicken, killing my own pig, killing my own cow. Like, I don't think I would eat meat. I don't think I can do it. But if I discover that I can kill animals without remorse, that'll be a whole new June. This feels like behind the scenes access? I hope so. I think so. I think that's what this is meant to be. Will Aaron's dad make an appearance? He lives in upstate, so probably not. Yeah, serious flashbacks to the duck in the Christmas episode, guys. That was like so rough. Zach cut out most of my capture for that scene because I just kind of turned speechless. I couldn't really say anything when that happened, and I just had to like let myself calm down for 20 minutes while I cleaned. It was pretty intense. And the duck was already dead. It's not even like I had to take its life from it. It was just like, it was just hard.
I came for the smell. I smell bacon.
Say hi to Erin, everyone. So I'm just stirring up some of this shit for you.
That sounds great.
And then,
Shit pizza.
yeah, I'm gonna turn off my heat, and we're gonna let the pan cool down just a little bit while we prep our veggies. I'm not going to preheat my oven until the dough is in here relaxing. It'll probably take me about 15 to 18 minutes for my oven to actually preheat to 500 degrees, and then we're only baking it for like 11 or 12 minutes. So it's 30 minutes of oven on time for a pizza, which I do feel guilty about on a 60-degree day, but I've made my decision. It is what we're doing. Unless, should we just cook this pizza on the stove? Do you think it'll cook on the stove, actually?
Should I just eat that bowl of veggies?
If you want to eat this bowl of veggies. Should we just cook this pizza on the stove so I don't have to turn on the
Stovetop
oven?
pizza?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it'll stay nice and wet and gooey on top, the dough.
Trashy Tuesdays, guys.
I'm
We're
into
gonna
it.
cook the pizza on the stovetop. Let's see if this works. It's probably not gonna work. But if we do cook this on the stove, I think we're gonna have to like be really gentle with the heat. And I'll probably have to cover the pan with like a sheet tray to make sure that it kind of steams and traps the heat and actually cooks the top layer of the pizza. Or we could basically cook it like a pancake where we just sear the bottom for however long it takes to get slightly golden but not hard and crusty, and then we flip it. So then we're cooking half of it, half of the way through, and then flipping it. What do you guys think? What do you guys think? It might burn. It definitely might burn. I've never used my broiler. Fun fact. My broiler is like on the very bottom of the oven. It's a little tray that I have to pull out, and it just feels really dusty and gross in there, not gonna lie. I don't think I'm ever gonna use that broiler, but like, I do have a torch. That is a hand broiler. Wow, this is gonna be a super trashy Tuesday. Holy crap, what am I doing? Okay. So, I am going to slice up some of these tomatoes. Maybe I'll just pick out the saddest looking ones. And this is why I need to sharpen my knife, because that took me 2 slices to cut through. I'm just gonna go ahead and use my beloved serrated red knife. I think everybody needs a chef's knife, and if you can, get a tiny, tiny serrated knife, paring knife. Really useful, especially for cutting this. Slices right through. The sad thing about serrated knives are, I don't think you can actually sharpen them. If anybody knows that you can actually sharpen serrated knives, let me know. I've always wondered how you would do that. And for anyone who wonders how I sharpen my knives, I use a whetstone, spelled W. Actually, is it spelled W-H-E-T or is it E? I think it's W-E-T. W-E-T, whetstone. And you just soak it in water. It's like a little block of cement-looking thing, and you swipe your knife blade on there, and it sharpens it. I think I'm gonna do one more tomato. I think that'll be enough. We'll throw the rest of these back in. Okay, so usually I would put some sesame seeds on the bottom of this if we're baking it, but now that we're stove topping it, the direct heat might be too much and it might just burn the whole crust. So I'm just gonna skip it today, and we'll see how this dough is. It's really nice and silky, guys. Dough, if you let it rest, eventually the gluten structure will start breaking down a little too much, but oh yeah. Nice little lump of dough. I'm a mess. I should have moved this off sooner. And I'm just gonna dust my board with a little bit of flour so that we can work on it. I took this dough out about maybe 2 hours ago and I think it's a little too soft. Whetstone, W-H-E-T, yeah. I vote pancake style, flip that ish, yeah, I agree. In a pinch, you can sharpen your knife on the bottom edge of a mug. Huh. Never heard that one before. That's cool. I don't know why I spent $60 on a Whetstone. Hopefully, not for nothing. Very nice, very soft. I like to start giving it like a 1/2 inch of crust and not press down on that 1/2 inch border at all, and just go in with this part of my index finger, this like semi-side, oblique side of my index finger, and just give it a nice little crust all around. And then I start patting out the center. So I kind of draw that border out with my fingers, and then I start flattening the middle part. And I never touch the edge of the crust because I want that to be maintained. This might be a little too thick for stovetop baking, guys. I think this is going to be like a really raw pizza. I just feel in my bones this is not the right thing for me to do. You know what? I'm going to slice off a little bit of this dough. Just a little bit, so that we can thin out the pizza a little. So I just know in my bones it's not gonna work out. And I like trash. I don't like that trash. I want slightly more edible trash. So. Where are your favorite knives from? I'm not that rich. I don't have favorite knives. I just have this one knife that cost me like $109, like in 2013. So it's been a while since I've bought myself a new knife. This knife cost me like $12 at the time, I think. I got it at a small kitchen supply store called Whisk in the Flatiron District in New York City, and I think it's now closed. They might still have one location open in Williamsburg, but I don't know for sure anymore. A lot of stores have closed. It's been very sad everywhere. And at the time, I was still working in restaurants, and I was like, wow, that's more than I make in an hour. Are you sure you want to buy that, June? But I have this thing where if I see it's the last item in stock of its kind, and I like it, I have to have it. So I bought it, and I still love it, because like 5 years later, I'm still using it, and it's amazing. So what I like to do is I drape the dough on this curved top surface of my hand, and I'm just guiding it, again using this kind of knuckle to fingertip area of my index, and just letting gravity drag it out for me. I'm not really doing much in terms of trying to drag it out at all. I'm just going along the border that I created for myself earlier, and I just keep doing this. And because, can you see that? There's like a hole forming here, right here. Boop, boop. That's gonna burn. Whatever. That's because I didn't plan on this dough being pizza, and now I'm trying to make it into pizza, and there's a lot of unevenness in the dough. There's a lot of unevenness in the gluten formation. I also just cut off like 20% of the dough, and so it's just very trashy. Classy trash food. How's the pierogi dough going, Alex? We're wondering in the comments. Make a calzone? We're gonna have to turn on the oven for the calzone, guys. Did you not listen to me? It is 60 degrees in New York City right now. I'm not turning on my oven to 500 degrees to make a calzone. Not doing it. So our pan is pretty cool, and I'm just going to thin out this crust a little bit. I'm really worried, guys. I'm really worried that I am making all the wrong decisions in life, but that is what life is for, I guess. There we go. It's in. Too late. We must deal with the consequences of our actions now. I'm going to try to smush together that hole that I created earlier. by moving some more dough over and just squishing it gently and guiding it to patch up that hole. Probably as it cooks, that hole will open right back up again because, you know, you can't just fix all of your mistakes by patching up a hole. You brush everything under the carpet, shit's gonna start getting dank under there. And sooner or later, it's gonna be smelly. And I'm just pressing the dough up against the sides of the pan until I can almost see that bacon fat come up the sides. I want to see like a little bit of ooze coming into the crust. If I lift this up, you'll see that it's a little bit shiny. I know my lighting sucks, guys. Low production here. A lot of folks asking, June, why are you only doing lives? Why aren't you making videos? Guys, this is a video. And also, I have a full-time job at Delish. And also, I don't know how many of you actually have done video production before and edited a video, but it's a lot of work. It's not just recording. It's also thinking about what you're gonna record. It's thinking about what you're gonna cut out. It's about thinking how you're gonna collage all the clips together into a cohesive, semi-narrative thing. And Zach, wonderful Zach, bless his heart, does all of that for the Budget Eat series at Delish. It's a lot of work. I'll shoot for a week. I'll shoot like 12 to 14 hour days. Not shooting straight 12 to 14 hour days, but I'll shoot for like 8 hours, and then I'll sit down and I'll sort through all the footage. I'll upload the footage, and then I have to calculate all the prices for the meals, and then I have to like write down notes about what I did for each recipe, and then I have to start thinking about what I'm gonna cook tomorrow, because I can't just turn on the camera and say, hey, here's what I have and here's what I'm thinking, because that way Zach will end up with like 20,000 hours of footage and he will die from trying to untangle that mess, which is exactly what happened if you watch the $35 week Budget Eats, which is the only one that I shot on my cell phone. I gave him like 11 hours of footage and somehow he whittled it down to like 38 minutes. And I think a part of his soul was lost in that transaction. So we don't want to do that to Zach again. And that is why I'm not doing edited videos on this channel right now. I'm just hanging out with you guys, cooking the stuff that I normally would cook for myself, for Aaron, and just giving us all a chance to be together and hang out and talk, and you can ask me questions. June, you're making like a Chicago deep dish. I don't think Chicago people will be happy you said that. I don't think this is anything like a deep dish. June, you're getting kind of deep for Trashy Tuesday. Listen, this is what you sign up for when you come to my bullshit. My mind just rambles, and I ramble, and one day, 10 years down the line, you'll get sick of me, and all you'll do is be in the other room playing video games with your brother. That's okay. That's life. The dough is getting very nice and soft and plushy, guys. It's like slowly, I think the dead gluten-free starter is actually starting to do stuff. You can see little bubbles here. You can see bigger bubbles there. This. Oh my God, so pleasurable. I love dough so much. I love dough more than any other category of semi-raw, semi-formed ingredient. Just dough is so therapeutic and pleasing to me, and in another life, I think I would have been a baker forever. So we're just gonna let that puff a little, because the more it puffs, the more likely that it'll be less dense, and the less dense it will be, the more it'll get a chance to like steam inside the bread lump when we turn the heat on, and the less chance we'll have like dead raw dough in the middle. So I want to give it plenty of time to just like relax. You got to give these things time and love and vacation time, because as you know, if you don't have vacation time, you will be a sad, miserable lump of dough. So I guess maybe we'll do another episode tomorrow with this dough that just doesn't seem to go away. Ever. The dough that keeps on giving. I will wash my hands, and well, now that I think about it, I guess I should have sliced some of those onions and cooked them earlier, huh? Whoops. Now we will have uncooked onions on our pizza. Or I guess I could cook them off, but I don't feel like it. I'm lazy. So we're just gonna go with lazy. Mistakes, we'll roll with it, whatever. This oil, we'll probably just like spoon and spread a little on later down on the line. What cheese, in your opinion, is the best cheese to use on a pizza? I like, for the pull, I like kind of aged mozzarella. Definitely not fresh, it's too wet for me. I also like a little bit of pecorino or parm for that extra salty umami goodness. If they gave her a raise, she would not use it on a bigger living space, I don't think. I mean, maybe. Who knows? If I had Jeff Bezos kind of money, who knows what will happen? I will have alpacas overtake the entire earth. Y'all will be gone. I'll be gone. I'm gonna find some way to just let alpacas take the reins, and the world will be happy for the first time ever in history. June, you are the best with dough. I'm definitely not the best with dough. I'm just the most forgiving of mistakes with dough. And it breaks my heart sometimes when readers come in and they tell me like, June, I tried to make your brioche dough. It wasn't coming together. I threw it all out. Guys, that was like 80 pounds of butter and 17 tons of eggs in that brioche dough that you just tossed away. Like, please don't toss your dough away. If it's not working out the way you wanted it to, please take a detour with it. Please cook it off. That was like, butter is made from milk, which is made from cows. Cows had to generate that ingredient for you. We had to squeeze it out of the cow, and then we had to churn that cream into butter, and then you made a mistake, or I gave you a shitty recipe, and you threw it out. That makes me so bad. That makes me feel bad. That makes me bad. I don't want to give you a shitty recipe to begin with, but also you can fix it. I promise you, you can fix it. Just alternate your expectations a little bit. All right. The dough is starting to feel kind of like warm on top now, like warmer than room temp, which makes me think some of the heat from the bottom of the pan that was heated earlier is now carrying through to the top, which makes me think that if this dough is getting warm and if I press it and it's like not really bouncing, it is bouncing back still, but like not really, I think we're ready to cook. What time is it? 9:03. Guys, we've been here for half an hour. What am I doing? Jesus Christ. This is why it takes so long to cook Budget Eats and edit Budget Eats, because I just use so much time to do everything. All right, Slowpoke, we're gonna turn the heat on to a low. You can't even see it probably because it's low. And we're just gonna let that gradually come up to heat, because what I wanna do is make sure the bottom cooks, and then I'll take a peek and I'll judge at that point once the bottom is a little bit more set if I wanna flip it. Because if at that point it's already getting lightly golden and it feels like it's more than halfway done, maybe I'll just clamp a lid on it and we won't have to do anything to it. First time making this dough, first time making this pizza. Who knows what's gonna happen? It's so exciting, guys. It's the season, it's not the season finale. It's not the season finale of this pizza dough because I just chopped off 20% of it. And comment below what you think I should do with that 20% of dough I just chopped off. Maybe we make crackers? Love how you say also for also? How do you say also? Guys, English is not my first language, and sometimes I truly can't hear the difference. Like the whole thing with yeast. I can't hear the difference between yeast and yeast, okay? I'm trying very hard to practice it, I literally cannot hear the difference. And I think it's something to do with what your mother tongue is and what sounds you're trained with phonetically to hear. So, I don't know, I guess my ear bones formulated or my brain wires formulated in such a way that I don't really hear the difference between the two words. But you know what I'm saying, right? That's the whole point of language. You understand what I'm trying to say to you because words are just words. And if you can communicate through them, then you've succeeded with language. It don't have to be standardized. Standardization is oppressive sometimes. Maybe always oppressive. And it makes you feel less than when you don't need to feel less than. So maybe it's a bad idea to put on the cheese before the bottom of the pizza cooks because I don't even know if I'm going to flip it at this point yet. It's not developing color, but it is cooking. Promising, promising. All right, maybe I'll take this time to finally look at your comments. I love cooking with whatever odds and ends are in the kitchen. Yeah. The whole thing about me is like my dad used to be stay at home. He's a writer, and he would just buy lots of groceries, and sometimes he would like forget celery or herbs in there, and then I would find them, and the celery is like sad and dying. And I would just try to make something with it, and so that's pretty much in my blood now. Scallion pancakes sounds amazing. Yup. Is mento possible? Yeah, maybe we can make steamed bread. I don't know if it's like leavened enough quite. Can you read and write Mandarin? I'm only like first grade literacy, if that. I might not even be first grade literacy anymore. But I can speak Mandarin. I can read some simplified and traditional characters. Crackers with spices and salsa. Yep, absolutely. Pierogies. Dessert with leftover dough? I don't know, guys. It's been on a board with garlic now and tomatoes. Not sure. Not sure if I'm that adventurous enough for a wacky Wednesday youtiao dessert, but maybe. It did kind of taste like beignets when we last fried them. So maybe if we just like douse it with confectioner sugar, we could make it into dessert. 3 a.m. in France. I want to know what cheese you'll use. Yeah, France. Please go to sleep. Provolone Stravecchio. It sounds fancy and authentically Italian, but it does not taste that great. I've had some cheeses from Italy and they were all fantastic. And I dream about them to this day, but this does not taste like one of them. It tastes very waxy in that Crayola way. Ugh. Eat with hummus. Stuffed youtiao. Whoever said stuffed youtiao, you're kind of genius. Eat with hummus. Garlic ice cream over the summer. Sure. Yeah, if you're doing it intentionally, I'm sure it tastes good. If you caramelize onions and if you roast onions, they start tasting sweet. I can see how that works. Garlic knots. Yep. Again, guys, I don't want to turn on my oven. It's going to be like 60s through the end of this week. And then maybe we'll drop down to like -10. I don't know. Climate change. It's weird. We're all trying to survive. Best cast iron Rex. I have Lodge. I've had it for years. I don't really use any other things, so I can't recommend any other things to you. Oh, hotteok. I don't know how to say that, but yes, Korean donuts. Oh my gosh. Amazing. Yes, there are poppy seeds in the dough. No, not dumplings. This dough is a little too light for dumplings. Guys, can you see how much is puffing? So exciting. Wow, I'm so excited. We're basically baking this at a very low temperature without trapping any of the heat, and this sounds entirely stupid because I'm just drying out the bottom of the dough and not cooking the top at all. Yeah, I don't think this is a good idea, guys. Let's But you know, as soon as you get impatient, that's when shit starts going really bad. So get ready to see a train wreck coming your way in about 4 minutes. So one thing about stovetops and cast iron is really good at capturing heat and retaining heat, but it's also very conductive and spotty. So if your stove or your cast iron isn't even in terms of distributing that heat, you'll get hot spots on the pan. Which is why I know that this part of my pan at like 9 to 12 o'clock is the hottest. And what I'll do is I'll shift the pan every now and then around the fire so that different parts of the dough get that more intense direct heat, so that I don't have like one burnt part and one really soggy, wet, undercooked part. You just gotta work with what you got. It's puffy though. Can I actually pull you guys closer? Look at that. Wow. Hi. Can you see this bubble? It's so delightful. I love bubbles. It's sizzling. It's a beautiful sound. I love this sound. Cover it. I tried that method for pizza once and it didn't turn out great. Yeah, I do think we should cover it. Let me just take one more peek. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Okay. Ooh, it's turning golden. I think we should flip it. I think we should flip it, and I should also turn this heat down because it is cooking way too fast. You're ready for this? I covered it. Thank you, chefs. What is your favorite meal that Aaron cooks for you? He cooks a lot of really nice Japanese curry dishes. You saw some of that in Aaron Week. I really like those. He cooks a lot of things. He just made this really delicious pasta today. It doesn't look that great now because it's all congealed, but this was a new pea product. This pasta is 100% split peas. It's actually quite delicious. Ooh, that chili oil is starting to burn. And he put some garlic cloves in here and some Japanese curry blocks. And he's put some of that pea water in there from cooking the pasta, and it was really creamy and delicious. So. Probably should have set a timer. What is life? I love my pot cover too. This cast iron doesn't have a lid, so you just use whatever we got. What's your favorite ice cream flavor? Coffee. And then literally any other beverage flavor. Like, I love green tea, hojicha, Earl Grey, Thai iced tea. Ice and Vice used to be my favorite ice cream parlor, but they shut down permanently last November because COVID ruined everything. And the funnest flavor I've gotten there was called Eat Me, and it was made with Saint Germain, which is a juniper berry liqueur, and it had candied mushrooms in it, and it was like mind-blowingly good. So I like the weird stuff. Yes, golden curry is amazing. So easy. You can melt it into literally any stir fry, any piece of rice. Put it in whatever liquid, it'll melt. Creamy. There's MSG in there. How could it be bad? What kind of food do you cook with your cast iron? Every kind of food. Can you please teach us how to make the perfect hot chili oil? I fuck mines up 97% of the time. You put whatever chili, dried chili you want. I put a little bit of minced ginger, minced garlic, and then whatever other spices, a little pinch of salt, a little pinch of MSG, and then in a separate pot, you heat up your oil. And then when the oil starts to smoke, like just barely starts to smoke, turn the heat off. Make sure you have like a lot of space in your heat-proof jar that all of your spices are in, and then just sorry, that chili oil is potent. And then you just slowly pour that oil into the jar. It will bubble up vigorously, which is why you have to go slow. And after it's in, you like swish the jar if there's enough space, or go in with a clean spoon and just make sure every single spice is getting toasted in that hot oil. You're basically frying all of your spices up, and you should smell nuttiness immediately. I don't know what your method is. You can tell me. I'm having a really hard time talking through this chili oil, guys. Well, it is bread of some sort. Ooh! It got toasty. And the chili's burnt, as expected. So we're gonna plop those out. I don't want to give Aaron cancer prematurely. Maybe 20 more years, we'll give him 20 more years. And this actually feels nice to me. So I'm gonna go with some cheese. I'm gonna turn down the heat even more. The pan is probably way too hot right now, which is why you see a lot of burning, but that's just flavor. Flavor, guys, flavor. Not a whole lot of cheese. We can always add more later. And then I'm actually just gonna put the tomatoes around so that they get a little bit cooked. And I'm also hoping that maybe the moisture will help steam it once we lid it again. And then we can put the tomatoes back on top of the pizza after they get a little bit more withery. Cut side against the cast iron for more heat exposure. And then we'll put these on top. That's gonna be, garlic breath is gonna be potent tonight. Very potent. And then we have a little bit of oil left in this bowl that I can brush on later when we're serving. Don't waste any of that good, delicious flavor. I think at the very end, I'm gonna go in with a little bit of this spicy honey from Nonavo Pizza near Portland, Oregon. Sorry, Joey, I don't remember where your pizza shop's at, but Joey is the chef there. Joey is the chef there, and he was the chef that I worked for on my very first restaurant job in New York City, and he continues to be one of the most inspiring chefs I've ever worked for and with. He was a chef who hated being called chef, and that's when I knew he was a true chef. But yeah, they make a lot of condiments. They sell some t-shirts and merch. If you're in that area, go support them. He makes awesome Neapolitan style pizzas. Support your local businesses if you can. Hi, Toronto. Yeah, I'm not a big alcohol drinker. I get the Asian flush really bad. My mom says I'm allergic to alcohol. Maybe I am, maybe I'm not. But alcohol doesn't really make me feel good. Sometimes I have like random knee pains when I'm half a drink in, and it's just not worth it, honestly, to me. It doesn't even taste that good, guys. So I just put Bailey's in my oatmeal on those really rough days when I need some comfort, and that's about it for me in terms of drinking. I'll brush a little bit of rum on my cakes when I bake cakes. June, will you do any more vegan budget eats? I don't know, maybe? A lot of my stuff is pretty vegetarian already, and I feel like you could definitely just make some substitutions to make it vegan, you know? So, maybe not the episode with the spleen. Sorry about that. Cucumber smoothie. I've never had cucumber smoothie. That sounds good. What do you think is the most underrated spices? I haven't really started using fenugreek until recently, and I don't know why it's not more well known outside of like Indian cuisine. I feel like fenugreek is amazing. I have so many spices in here and I can't find it right now, but it basically tastes like what you imagine the kind of standardized Indian-ish curry to taste. It smells like 5 spices in one. It looks like these little seeds. It almost looks like bird feed. And it's delightful. I love it so much. Yeah, MSG is underrated in home kitchens. Like in my most recent budget eats that I just shot a week ago, there were a couple of dishes where I was like, this just doesn't taste that great. Like it's fine, I'll eat it. But what makes me want to eat it more is just a 1/4 teaspoon of MSG. It changes things a lot. Like sometimes that's just the last little leg up that you need to add. I don't know what it is, it's just magic, MSG magic. Aaron, are you gonna eat this pizza when it's ready?
Absolutely. When will it be ready?
Maybe like 5 minutes.
All right.
What do you guys think? Come closer, my children. Come take a peek. Come on this journey with me. Dude, okay, that's pretty good, I think. Yeah? You know? Okay. I'm just gonna let the tomatoes get a little bit softer. They're already like denting in when I press them, which is, woo, nice little juicy splurt. I'm gonna let it go for 2 more minutes until this timer runs out, and then I'm gonna lift the lid and we'll just like blast the heat a little bit, let it toast all the way through. And then we'll flip the tomatoes on there. We'll cut a slice out with a pair of scissors because that's the easiest thing to do when you don't want to slice into your cast iron pan and fuck up the seasoning. And we'll have Aaron come be a guinea pig and taste it and give you an honest rating. I don't understand so many people giving Aaron crap about him giving me honest ratings. Like, I asked him to give me an honest rating. Just because he doesn't give me a perfect 8, 9, 10 doesn't mean that he's a meanie or toxic. It just means that that dish wasn't particularly good. I'm not superhuman. Not everything is gonna be great. Anyway, I just ate a piece of chili and I don't know why. That's gonna hurt my hands later. Great. MSG makes me thirsty, yeah. MSG is basically salt, guys. And if you ate that much salt, you would be thirsty too. But I get it. Yeah, MSG does make my mouth feel a little bit dry. It's almost like cotton mouth. So I don't know the science behind that. Just use it a little bit more sparingly, I guess. Anyway, lifting this. Look at all that steam that was trapped. Look at all the beads of moisture that came off of our bread. So this is the world's first Trashy Tuesday stovetop steamed pizza. Italians, you have all the permission to kill me right now because I have committed sacrilege against your holy cuisine. I'm sorry, this is just Trashy Tuesday. I don't mean anything by it. I just wanted to use up this dough. And my sad tomatoes. And my sad scallions. and this really disappointing cheese that sounds Italian, but I still don't think it's Italian. And huge hunks of garlic. Why did I give Aaron so many huge hunks of garlic? I don't know. This feels cooked. Wow. I'm so surprised that it cooked, honestly. Maybe we'll just never turn on our oven again. Microwave for sweet potato, stovetop for bread. It feels cooked, guys. I'm sinking my knife into it and it feels cooked. So I'm gonna blast the heat up. And we'll just let it get nice and toasty for 1 minute and no more, because then we'll reach into burnt territory. The show wouldn't be the same without Aaron, yeah. It's true. People just love to have a villain to hate, even though they might not even be the real villain. Maybe the real villain is within us, our need for approval and validation from external sources when we can't even give it to ourselves when we most need it. So maybe it's time for us to be kinder to ourselves first before criticizing other people for being too mean. Torch the top. Okay, fine. I'll do whatever you want me to. You are my overlord. Maybe just the cheese part? You want close-ups? Well, blam! Fire! I controls it. Wow, that is very charred. I'm not gonna serve him that piece. You guys give me terrible ideas. Okay, I think that's enough. Before I set my whole kitchen on fire, I hope you're happy. I did what you wanted me to. Wow, that was a forceful do not touch me. I'm happy with that. Aaron, time to eat.
Okay.
But you can actually hold off a minute because it might be too hot for your mouth anyway. I don't want to kill your mouth. So if you're not done with your game, feel free to pop on by a little bit later. But guys, I don't think we did too shabby here. I mean, we'll see when I cut into it what it looks like, but very promising. Look at us go. Trash Tuesday. Trash every day. Why not? I think I should probably put a little bit of seasoning on top of here. Oh yes, we're gonna go in with our hot honey. I think maybe a little bit of, just a little touch of fancy salt maybe. It's not a lot of cheese on here. I probably should have given him more cheese. Why was I so stingy with the cheese? Okay, you know what? We can still correct this. While the pan's hot, I'm going to melt some cheese around the edge, like so. Maybe we'll just have some crusty cheese edges for him. Maybe I'll turn the heat back on a little bit, just a little bit, to help that cheese melt. You know how in those like fancy, newfangled pizza places, they treasure this cheese crown? You just have like a ring of burnt cheese around the crust, and it's like everyone's oohing and gawing over it on Instagram, and it's like the hottest new thing. I guess we can make that now, if this cheese melts. If it's actually cheese. I don't actually know if it is cheese. But thank you guys for tuning in. What a delight it's been. What a journey we've been on today. So happy that some of you weirdos find this enjoyable. I am so chaotic Correct. I'm so sorry for letting you down. I
How did
mean,
you let them down, June?
by not being trashy enough. They're a tough audience out here, you know? I'm getting them free content and they're telling me I'm not trashy enough.
This looks beautiful. This is a sauceless pizza, huh?
It is a sauceless pizza.
It's basically focaccia.
It is basically focaccia, but we're gonna drizzle some nice novel pizza, spicy honey.
Beautiful.
And then we're gonna go on with some flaky sea salt. You're right, guys. I'm actually just bougie. Sorry. It was clickbait all along, and you stick around for a whole hour only to find out I lied. Isn't that just life? Are you ready to eat?
It looks so novel and delicious.
Novel and delicious.
Usually food that's you haven't seen before
Mhm.
in a new form doesn't look very appetizing because naturally your brain's like, oh, it's weird, it's new, it's different. I don't know if it's okay to eat. But this is like fun and delicious.
This is basically a handheld oven, you know?
It is. We should get a new smoke detector. I don't trust it.
Oh, we took it off. It's not on. Remember we took the battery out because it would
Oh,
go
yeah.
off literally every day.
We're being safe here, folks.
We don't have a smoke detector.
Do you have swears censored? You're badass with the torch that got censored?
I have censored, automatic censored comments, but I let all of them through. I just
Let
want
them all
to
through. You can say whatever you want.
I
It's
just
a free
wanna-
speech zone.
listen. I just want to make sure that like none of you are actually malicious. It's okay if you drop an F bomb, or an S bomb, or even a C bomb. I actually really like the C word. Controversial topic, but
Coochie?
not if you're being really mean. You know, like if you're just mean spirited, I will censor the shit out of you. Yes. This is great, Aaron.
This looks amazing.
Wow. Let me show the good people.
Show the good people.
This pan, and then let me cut you a slice.
You know I'm not eating all this.
Of course you're not eating all of
All
it.
right, I'm gonna click the buttons to show the swears.
Okay.
All swears are now visible.
All swears?
Yeah.
Did you turn on all squares? I need to have a censor layer just in case we have some actually mean people.
There's no mean people. It was just people saying fuck yes.
Yes. Fuck yes. Fuck the censors. Oh my god. What have I created here?
Did you pre-slice this somehow?
The pizza?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, you're just cutting it now?
Yeah.
It looks like it was sort of notched. What's that notch right there? Is that just a
It's
natural fold?
unevenness in
Natural
the dough.
fault. Okay.
Yeah, natural fault. Correct. That will be the name of my cookbook, Natural Fault.
Wow.
Let me get you a little more topping. It was a little stingy of me. We gotta really present it up, you know? Present it, present it. Runway ready. Okay guys, so I'm gonna show you this slice. Yes, we see it is cooked. Yes, we see it has gorgeous toppings. It is not soggy, the bottom, while the toppings all just slid off, is nice. It's got a little bit of cheese, it's got nice crustiness, it's even got a little char mark.
And look, the best part about this is if you don't want pizza with toppings, you can have bread and a salad by just
Multi-purpose dish.
Knocking
Have it
the
your
toppings off,
way. Hello. I think we did great, guys. Thank you so much for all of your suggestions. Thank you, chefs, for tuning in. Thank you for cooking along if you did.
Oh, that's still pretty hot. And I'm
You
gonna take it-
weakling.
I'm too.
Excuse me, get
hungry.
out of here, weakling. Guys, look Look at this dough. Look at this bubble on this side. That looks legitimately like a good slice of pizza. I am so freaking proud of myself.
Do you hear that crunch? I was blocking the light, sorry. Yeah, this bread is awesome.
What's your rating? People are asking.
I kind of have to let it cool a little bit more.
I agree, yeah.
I'm not getting the full experience.
Oh,
But I can already tell it's amazing. I really love this bread. Honestly, if you just cook this bread in a pan with like some olive oil and salt or something, it would be just as amazing.
it's soft, moist, a little too moist because it was steamed, but it's soft and moist on top. It's got like this almost like cakey breadness to it, where it's like pulling apart like bread, but moist like a cake. And then the bottom is perfectly crisp. Like, I don't know. That is crispy, guys. With that spicy honey on top, giving you a little bit of sweetness.
We don't have balsamic.
We do.
Oh, I thought we were balsamic-free house. I've literally never used it. I'm not a huge balsamic fan.
Do you want to dip?
Yeah, I'll try it. The people are telling us to dip balsamic.
Okay, guys. We'll do it for you.
The whole structure in that June.
There you go.
Oh yeah, they were onto something.
Damn, we got chefs in the house. Holler. Who needs a
So-
Michelin guide when we got YouTube Live?
So it's pizza, it's a side of bread, it's a salad, it's focaccia, it's a distant cousin to youtiao at this point.
Guys, what the hell did we just make? I'm so freaking delighted. Give me that. Give me that. Oh, wow. Thank you, whoever suggested balsamic.
Should I dip
Genius.
a whole clove of garlic in
Yeah.
balsamic?
I gave you whole cloves of garlic.
Mm-hmm.
That is fantastic, guys. I don't know what to say. I'm never turning on my oven again to make pizza. Give me some more of that
So
vinegar.
is this an easy dough to make at home?
You saw it made. It was on
I saw
YouTube
it made.
Live.
I don't pay attention to things though. I also asked for the clarification of the audience who might not have seen that.
You can head on over to the Delish YouTube page where I did the YouTube Live last Friday. We make congee and youtiao to promote the new... Dude, you did not just drop shit on my new shirt.
That shirt's ancient.
But I just washed it.
I got a shot wipe for you.
Ugh, I don't want a shot wipe. This shirt was $1. We're not going to spend a shot wipe on $1.
You're right, the
Sure.
shot wipe probably costs more than the shirt.
Ugh. Whatever, we'll survive. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I really enjoyed having you here on this lovely Tuesday night. Let's make more trash.
I didn't rate it.
Oh, rate it.
1 billion out of 10.
Shut up. Give us a real number.
I think for the versatility of it, the fact that it's a pizza, it's a focaccia, it's a salad,
It's a
side of bread,
youtiao.
it's a youtiao,
It's
it's
a
everything.
noodle.
Yeah, this is 9.6.
Wow.
Yeah,
You gonna eat some of this tomorrow, toasted?
I'm just gonna throw it all out.
Come to Woodside and eat this pizza before Aaron tosses it all out. Alright guys, peace. Good night. Thanks for tuning in.